everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to Thriller Thursday. So again, today's video is slightly different. This is my first video or case that I'm covering on the paranormal. If you saw from the title, today's video is on The Conjuring, and you may have seen the film The Conjuring, and most people know that that is actually based on true events. So The Conjuring is based on the Perron family, who suffered for almost a decade with paranormal ghosts and demonic ghosts in particular that occupied the home they moved into. So in 1970, Roger and Carolyn Perron moved into a farmhouse in Harrisville, Rhode Island with their 5 daughters. The farmhouse was actually built in 1736 and was better known as the Old Arnold Estate. They had 200 acres of land, which they thought would be amazing to raise 5 daughters, but although they resided in this house for a decade, they would never be alone. It wasn't long after moving in that the family realised the house was extremely inhabited, and to start with they thought that there was nothing to worry about. They were friendly and yeah, they wouldn't do any harm. The children reported that the spirits would often watch them play, and they would also have some interactions with the spirits. They thought that they were friendly, harmless, but this soon changed, and very quickly. Soon things got scary. Pictures started flying off the walls, things were breaking, glasses were shattering, things were levitating. The beds that they were sleeping in were levitating while they were in them. Things that were just unexplainable were happening, and after them thinking that they were harmless and friendly, they no longer were. Eventually, a malicious spirit named Bathsheba targeted their mum, Carolyn. This spirit, Bathsheba, said to have been very jealous of Carolyn, but quickly formed a strong attachment to her. She would violently attack Carolyn, torment her, and eventually possess her. Bathsheba was said to live in the Old Arnold Estate before the Perron family moved there. Carolyn claims that one night she woke up to Bathsheba on top of her, basically choking her, saying "get out" continuously, and was also to have said that she would drive her out with death and gloom. Carolyn and her family described this spirit Bathsheba to be an old woman with her neck to one side as if it had been broken. So right before Bathsheba actually possessed Carolyn, Carolyn claims that she stabbed her with a sewing needle. I'm just now going to talk about who Bathsheba actually was and a bit of history about her. So Bathsheba Sherman was born in 1812 in Rhode Island. So on the 10th of March 1844, Bathsheba married a man, and this is where she got her surname Sherman from, and they moved to the Old Arnold Estate, which is now where the Perron family live. She gave birth to her son named Herman L. Sherman, but other people believe that she did have 3 other children who died during childhood, and around this time people believed that Bathsheba was a witch. These claims escalated when a child died in Bathsheba's care, and the autopsy said that the cause of death was a sewing needle into the back of the child's skull. People believe that she had to sacrifice this child to Satan, and they also believe this is what she did with her other 3 children that people believe she had, but there was no record of them. She was investigated for the murder of this infant, but all charges were dropped and she wasn't charged. But when Carolyn would later say that Bathsheba stabbed her with a sewing needle, that was too much to be just a coincidence. Bathsheba died in 1855 and was said to have committed suicide by hanging herself, and this is where the hanging woman comes into play in the Conjuring film. So Bathsheba's plans with Carolyn was quite clearly to harm her physically. She'd do this by bruising her, biting her, scratching her, stabbing her with sewing needles and other objects, and just tormenting her day-to-day life in order to scare her. Eventually this jealousy took over Bathsheba and became a possession, and she possessed Carolyn. And then it's at this point the family decided to call Ed and Lorraine Warren, who, if you've seen the film, you'd know. As soon as Ed and Lorraine Warren entered the Old Arnold estate, straight away Lorraine could sense a evil spirit attached to Carolyn. Lorraine also said that this spirit was jealous of her and wasn't going to let go. So Ed and Lorraine Warren performed multiple cleansings of the property, but this didn't work. This just aggravated Bathsheba and the other spirits even more. After this, they realised that they'd have to deal with things differently. In the film, they both perform an exorcism on Carolyn's character, but in real life, Ed and Lorraine actually perform a séance. And apparently this séance went incredibly wrong, and Roger kicked Ed and Lorraine out of the house. One of the daughters say that they actually opened something a lot worse and then were able to unclose it. And yeah, it just made everything 10 times worse for them. Due to the family not being very wealthy and being financially stuck, they actually had to live in this house 7 years after Ed and Lorraine had left. So after this 7 years, the Perron family moved to Georgia, but it was said that these evil spirits and the paranormal never unlatched from this family, and they moved with them from the Old Arnold estate all the way to Georgia. So in 2013, the film The Conjuring was released, and Lorraine Warren was also actually on set while they were filming this to help them get the best representation of what actually happened. And yeah, I thought that was very interesting, as a lot of films try and go over the top and try and make what happened a bit more dramatic, but the fact she was there telling them what happened and trying to make it more realistic is obviously very good. And the Perron family actually approved of this film and said that it was an accurate representation of what they experienced. And that is the end of this video. If you enjoyed this sort of paranormal video, then let me know down below, and yeah, I definitely love to do more of these. If you don't believe in the paranormal, like ghosts, demons, whatever, that's fine. Everyone's got their own opinion. Personally, I do believe in some of it, not everything, but like I said, everyone's got their own opinion. But I love watching videos like this and also creating them. So if you did enjoy, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one.